Hey everybody, Fish Tank here. Welcome to our kitchen here in the Ashman family house in Cottonwood Heights, Utah. I wanted to put out a video real quick, and I won't lie, we've done about 67 takes because I keep screwing up. If you're watching it, this is going to be the last take, so it worked. But in preparation for my upcoming Continental Divide hike in 2 weeks, I've received a few inquiries via my channel and Facebook Messenger, and a couple of you, quite a few of you have asked, how do you guys get the data from the trail back to Bear Bait here in Cottonwood Heights so she can make these awesome videos? So back in 2018 when we decided we were going to vlog it, and keep in mind we had no intention of our aspiration of becoming an internet sensation or the next YouTube craze, and we're not. That was never part of the plan. What we really wanted, what I wanted, was to create something for my kids and their kids, my grandkids, and for my wife and friends and family and loved ones to kind of follow along. I mean, I have very little photos or data from my father, let alone my deceased grandfather. How cool would it be to log on and watch videos of your great-granddad hike across America on the Continental Divide Trail or the Pacific Crest Trail? So that was kind of why we wanted to do this. But one of the big obstacles, one of the hoops we found out early on was how do we get the data from these two items out on trail home to this, so Bear Bait can make these awesome videos. We toyed with a Dropbox, we toyed with just emailing stuff, we toyed with the cloud, and all of those had certain restrictions that I didn't want to have to mess with. Electricity, Wi-Fi, and wasting time in a trail town where you'd find electricity and Wi-Fi, to uploading all this when I wanted to get there and just relax and do my resupply and socialize and tend to my proverbial wounds. So what we decided to do, and my disclaimer is this is not the only way, it's probably not even the best way, but it worked really good for us on the Pacific Crest Trail, and we're going to continue to do this method for the Continental Divide Trail this summer. So first of all of my video is shot with a GoPro. This is the GoPro 7 I used in 2018. In 2019, Bear Bait's holding a GoPro 8, the new one we just upgraded. I'll be carrying that GoPro 8 on the Continental Divide Trail. And all the photos were taken with an iPhone. This is the 10. I think for the first part of the PCT, I used a 7. iPhones take fabulous photos. So what I would do is, for intents, just for the video's sake, let's imagine that I'm at the southern terminus of the PCT, mile 0. And I am just about ready to take that first step on a most epic adventure on that beloved trail. I start out with a clean SD card in my GoPro, meaning there's nothing on it. And so I'm trekking, I'm videoing, I'm vlogging, I'm making an absolute fool out of myself, and I'm taking these epic pictures, and I'm having a great day, right? Well, eventually I want to get this data back to Bear Bait. So what I did is I've learned early on with the formatting and the clarity and the definition we have chosen, I get about an hour and 55 minutes out of a 32 gig scan disk. So what I did is I went out and I keep them in a 35 millimeter camera case. I went out and I bought a whole bunch of scan disks and some Sawyer water filter gaskets. Keep those in there too. I bought a whole bunch of these little scan disks, and I keep them right in there. So I have a bunch of those. I start out with a clean one in the camera. So when I've got about 10 minutes left on that scan disk, I usually try to time that out towards in the evening and I'm in my tent. So when I'm inside my tent, I take this scan disk out, and let's just pretend that I pulled the scan disk out, and here it is in my hand. Now I plug it into this cool thing right there. Whoops, upside down. I plug it into this cool thing. You can get these on Amazon. This is for the iPhone. This is another model of it. It has the iPhone. It has the Type-C. It has the USB, and it even folds down to an Android. And so it's all 4 compatible. And then you've got your mini scan discs that go there, or your big discs. This year I'm using this one because I don't need all those other ones. But I plug it right into my phone just like that. So I've got all my video on this disc. I plug this in and I download all my photos. So now on this disc, let's say I hiked 100 miles. Now I've got 100 miles of data right there. So what I do is I set that aside. I pull out a new disc out of my trusty film canister, pop it in here. It's a clean disc, and I'll move all the photos from miles 0 to 100. I'll put them in a separate photo. So I'm essentially starting off with a clean phone and a clean deal for the next 100 or so miles. Then I've got this disc with everything on it. So what I did is I start the trail with about 6 of these envelopes. And I've got my address on here, and I already pre-stamped them. The only thing I didn't do is put my return address. You want your return address to be your address at the house. So both of these are going to be the same. But inside, I've got this little piece of paper, and these are reusable. These are the ones we used for the Pacific Crest Trail. I take that disc with all that 100 miles worth of data, and I just put it right there like that. I fold it, I put it in the envelope, I lick it, or in this case, I peel it off, and I drop this in the next Trail Town mailbox. So there it is. 100 miles of photos, 100 miles of data is on its way to Allison. The one thing you're going to want to do, and I almost forgot to tell you guys, is on this piece of paper, you're going to want to write, "Dear Bearbait, I love you very much. You're the best for allowing me to do this," and all that other stuff. But you also want to put, this disc is mile 0 to mile 100, or whatever it was. That way when she gets it, she knows, okay, this is disc 1, mile 0 to 100. The next one she gets is going to be 100 to whatever, 210, and then 210 to 350, 350 to 5. You get the idea. It's just a really good way of getting the data home so she can use it. Now, some of you might be saying, well, what if it gets lost in the mail? Well, and we had that same question, but in reality, how many things really nowadays get lost in the mail? It just doesn't happen. Very rarely. I asked my mailman one day before the Pacific Crest Trail, and he kind of laughed. He says, "When's the last time somebody sent you a bill and you never got it?" I mean, we get our bills every month, so we mailed like 35 or 36 of these envelopes home from the Pacific Crest Trail. We got every single one of them. Is it a chance you take? Yeah, it's a chance you take, but I've got all the photos in a separate folder, so the only thing I'd really be losing might be a section of video. We'll take that chance. It never happened. So now let's fast forward now to Bearbait gets this envelope in the mail. She pops it open. First thing she does is she looks, says, "Oh, disc 1, mile 0 to 100. She pulls the disc out. She pops it in whatever kind of adapter you need to do, and she goes and she puts it on the computer. Now, what we learned early on, this is our MacBook, we learned early on that about after 3 discs, all the memory in this computer was gone. It filled it up. It was running very slow. Sometimes it would freeze up. So she went into Apple. We have a friend that works down there, and once she explained what we were attempting to do, and she'd only put in 3 discs of probably like 35 or 36 or 37, whatever it was going to be. She says, it's not going to work. You need an external hard drive. So there's a gazillion of these out there. We like the Lacey. This is a 4 terabyte. We did the entire Pacific Crest Trail on a 2 terabyte. It did start to get kind of full after 2,650 miles, and it was running just a little bit slower. So we went with a 4 terabyte for the CDT. We'll have more than enough space. So what we do is you plug this hard drive in. We embedded iMovies. That's the platform she uses to create the video. We embedded iMovies inside this. So when she plugs this in to download mile 0 to 100, it puts it right into iMovies right inside the Lacey. Nothing is being stored in the computer. It's all right here. And then she will create an event. Those of you that have used iMovies, it's basically a folder. And in that folder, she'll call it Disc 1, miles 0 to 100. When she gets the second one, it'll be Disc 2, miles 100 to 205, or whatever it is, all the way down, and hopefully your last one should be mile 2650 if you're hiking the Pacific Crest Trail. Doing it that way, it really made it organized. Right from the get-go, it allowed me to enjoy my time off in a trail town. I didn't have to worry about uploading things or emailing stuff or finding a Wi-Fi signal. It was as easy as finding a mailbox. Now, I never just dropped it in a mailbox. I physically took it to post offices, and I wanted to physically drop it in the box. There was even times Trail Angels offered to, I'll take that. I mailed it myself. I wanted to see it drop down that slot, but that's just me worrying about stuff. But one other thing that Bearbait did that was really nice is after it's uploaded into the hard drive and it's in the iMovie or your platform, then she's got the raw data, what to do with the raw data. She went to the dollar store and she bought one of these little dilly-whacker thingies here. Then she'll write disk 1, miles 0 to 100, and this will go in the vault down in the basement. We have a big safe. So now all my raw data is safe. It's there. Should anything ever happen, there it is. And that's why, I've got so many of these, and that gets me through a full, 2,650 or 3,100 mile hike. One other thing to touch base on that I omitted, it's really important you've got your date and time set on both of these and they're correct. And that's important for the individual doing your videos if they're not on trail with you, or even you if you let any amount of time lapse. If they're not set, when you upload a disc into the computer, they're not going to be chronological. The nice thing about it is if the date and time is set to the same on both of these devices, when Bearbait uploads them into the iMovie, it's chronological, not only per day, but even per hour. So if I wake up in the morning and I take a 5-minute or a 25-second good morning video, here we are, I got hair going everywhere, blah, it was a rough night, it was a great night. Then I take a few pictures, then I do another video. When she uploads it into iMovie, it's gonna be in that chronological order, which makes somebody who is making the video that's not there, it makes it very easy. She's not gonna know, if this video should have been in front of that picture, and that's, you want these two items set. And we learned the hard way on one of my discs. For some reason, the GoPro got set back to like 2016. I don't know how it happened, but we had to do some finagling. So, but this is what worked for us, and this is what I will continue to do for the Continental Divide Trail. And this is what we've done, and it's allowed Bearbait to make these videos that many of you have watched and enjoyed, and many hikers in the future will use, hopefully, and help them plan their through hikes. So real quick, that was our 29th take, I think. Did I miss anything, Bearbait?
I don't think so.
Okay, does this shirt make me look fat?
No.
Yes, it does. But I'm losing one going on a hike. So, no, in all good, in reality, I hit the trail in 16 or 17 days. I'm super excited. I hope you guys found this video entertaining. I hope it explains a little bit, those that have asked, how we get the data from the trail to the house to on the computer to where she can make these awesome keepsakes for us and our family. I hope this finds everybody out there healthy, happy, and well. If you have any more questions, please reach out. You can reach out in the comments, or the best way is probably Facebook Messenger, Jason Ashment or even Allison Ashment, and she'll get those as well. For right now, from our kitchen in Cottonwood Heights, Utah, Fish Tank and Bearbait out.